learn that, when you accept that, when you work with that, you make progress. Anyway, I have this conversation with a lot of people regularly around why the certification, why. The truth of the matter is that this life and the progress most of us are after is a skills game. You need to have a skill. You need to have a skill that the market wants, especially the skill that the market wants to pay premium for. That's what you need, really, to make some of the progress that some of us dream of. You need to have skills that the market pays premium to. So what about qualifications? What about going to school? It's really simple. I don't understand how simple things like that can be so difficult for a lot of people to understand. The qualification is simply evidence of your skill. Usually, before you get a qualification, you should have been assessed. The people who issue the qualification are essentially confirming that you have a skill. My teaching certificate certifies that I have the skills of an instructor, that I am a qualified instructional designer, that I do know how to apply pedagogy in order to facilitate learning. My teaching license simply evidences my pedagogical skills. And so when I go to a place and I pull out my teaching license, the university I attended is simply saying that they have observed me. They are witnesses to my skills as a teacher. And they know that it at least meets the threshold for certification as a teacher. If somebody sees my teaching certificate, that's what the certificate is literally saying. You can be confident in employing this woman as a teacher because people who are qualified, certified to be able to witness this person's skills have done so. So the certification is just a witness. It's a witness statement of my skill as a teacher, full stop. You take that with you to places because that is what you often take as evidence of your skill, so that it gives confidence to those in the market who want to pay for your skill. If you go to a place and there are many people who can teach, they have the skills, but they haven't gone to any place to certify. So there are no witnesses to their ability to do this. So it is your word. And it's very difficult sometimes with your word for people to take your word. And that's why we seek qualification. Yeah. If somebody has a master's degree at something, it usually says that the person has the cognitive capacity to operate at a certain level. They must have a certain skill at a particular level. If a person is a certified welder, well, they must know how to weld. As a DIYer, there are many people who know how to do DIY, but there is no witness, really, official witness to your skill. And so somebody who has a certificate from an apprenticeship or from whatever, as a hairdresser, is likely to have more confidence in the buyer. If I walked into a company and I saw that their lead, if I walked into a hairdresser's and I saw that the lead hairdresser is certified from a local college or a respected institution of some kind, that says that this person is experienced in dealing with hair, I will sit at the person's chair with confidence. I will sit at their chair with confidence, more confidence than when I went into somebody's salon and there was no witness that this person's skill meets the standard. So essentially, you get certification as evidence of your skill, but it is the skill really that the market wants. The market wants to see a skill. The market rewards a skill. The market will pay you for the skill you have. We are looking for a qualified civil engineer. They want somebody who has civil engineering skills. It's a set of skills that is required as a civil engineer. And if you've been to university and you have studied and you have received your degree, master's, whatever, as a civil engineer, then it suggests to whoever is looking to pay a civil engineer that you do know about civil engineering, you do have civil engineering skills, and you can be paid. There are some skills that you don't need certification for. There are some skills that you can demonstrate with a portfolio. And so people who have a portfolio that shows that they have done, you go to a person's place and they have 20 websites that they have developed and it's all right there on the portfolio. That is also evidence of a person's skill. You can evidence skills in many different ways. You can evidence it by swearing on your life, which might not be the most effective way to evidence your skill. You might evidence it with certification. You might evidence it with your portfolio of work, and in most cases you do a combination of these. When you apply for a job and they ask for references, what they are actually checking is more witnesses for your capacity to do the job. Really, they want to see somebody who can give an account of you on the actual job. So not just the fact that your certificate says you can do it. Have you got other people who have witnessed you perform this skill, who can tell this new person about how you actually perform? That is what references are. When they request a reference, they are asking for an account from somebody who has an experience of you doing this particular thing, performing this skill. Amma, why are you on about skills? Skills is what is the game. And in this 21st century, if you know anything about thriving and survival, your focus will be on skill acquisition, skill development. Skill acquisition and development that is done in such a sustained manner that it becomes a disposition. It begins to seep into your behaviors and it pre-informs the choices that you will make. Yeah. At the moment, I am learning how to use AI. It is a skill that is going to be a game changer. The use of AI will be a game changer. It is already a game changer for those who move fast. It will transform the game completely in a few months. And those who don't learn to play, those who don't learn to use this skill, are going to be annihilated as we go along. If you intend to survive in this era, there's only one thing to do. It really doesn't matter what qualifications you've had in the past. The hotcake skill is the use of AI and community building. That's the hotcake skill. So guess what? That's what you need to step up to acquire that skill. If you can acquire that skill on top of some other skills that you have, if you can acquire that skill to embed onto something you already have, if you can acquire that skill and you can add value to that skill, so everybody will jump on and do AI. But somebody who has copywriting skills, who does AI and is able to use their copywriting skills to humanize what the AI can do, is going to have an edge. Somebody who has marketing experience, who jumps on and does something with this AI for the benefit of their, yes, that person is going to be winning. It is a skills game. And for those who ask, what business can I? Before you start jumping in with what business can I, you want to go and do a skills market audit. What skills are going to be needed in 2026 is a question you should ask yourself. What skills are going to sell in 2026? And in what format will those skills be sold? How will those skills be packaged and sold? And when you know how those skills will be packaged and sold so that the hotcake buyers will buy, well, that is how you need to acquire that skill and learn to package and sell. If you were able to step in September 2025, figuring out the skills that will be useful in the first half of 2026, by the first half of 2026, you will be in a position to step up to a business. And your business model will be around bottling this skill and marketing this skill effectively. Especially if you can bottle and market this skill effectively in the format that does not require trading time for money, you would be winning big time. Big time. What is the real secret to making progress? I've just told you. The real secret to making financial progress in 2026 is to identify the skills that would be saleable, that would be hotcake, and to acquire these skills in advance of the need, and to package these skills and have it ready for sale when the buyers are ready, and to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. If you can do that, you will make a lot of progress, a lot of financial progress in that time. So what are you doing with it? Well, listen, I am not about to tell you my market survey for free. There are AI tools that will do market surveys for you right now without a lot of effort. You go and pin your backside down and go do your own market survey. Obviously, when you're doing your market survey, you want to be smart and ask the AI for some of these skills that I'm a teacher, so I'm not going to go and ask the skills that an architect will probably have, because it will take me a long time to try and get the skills that an architect will have. I need to ask whoever is doing this skills market research for me, or whatever is doing it for me. I need to ask, hey, I'm a teacher, I'm a science teacher, I'm a middle-aged science teacher, I run businesses, Can you identify 5 skills that will be saleable in 2026 that match my existing skill set, or my existing skill set can be developed slightly to be able to deliver? So this is not the time for me to go and be a surgeon. I'm sure people will need surgery. I would like to run a weight loss clinic. Very nice, beautiful. Do I have the prerequisites licenses to be able to run a weight loss clinic? No, I don't. I do not. Do I have time to go be a pharmacist or a clinician of any sort in order to get these licenses so that I will be able to move in 2020? No. So going down the clinician route, going down the licensing to do this may be a hot cake venture, but it might not be the most strategic thing for me to do if I want to tap into these hot cake ventures for 2026. So I need to go back and ask, what skills do I currently have as a teacher that could be pivoted? What skill I already have as a teacher can I pivot for this progress agenda? And I should find some skills having this conversation as usual, reminding self what I ought to be doing. And then I do it publicly, so that those of you who could also benefit from the reminder. So this is not me admonishing you to do nothing that I'm not doing. This is me reminding me of what I need to be doing, that I intend to be doing, telling you some of the processes that I am going to be using in order to get this strategy off the ground. And I hope that instead of you needing to go and pay expensive consultations, hearing me and my self-pep talk helps you to galvanize yourself. At least it gives you an idea of what some of the people I've paid have told me to be doing, and maybe I might get you moving without needing to pay the expensive bill of these consultations. I'm going to go and sit with my own systems and figure out what it is that a teacher can do. One of the first things I found was for me to learn the basic AIs and to start offering educational courses on them. And there's still a gap in the market for that. Most people do not know what this AI thing is about. Most people do need to attend intro to AI courses. And who is better placed to teach people how to use AI courses than me? I have the professional skills to design learning sequences that lead to desired outcomes. I know how to do that. I understand adult learning ventures enough. I already have the knowledge of the instructional tools and how to design them. So that is one of the first places, one of my lowest hanging fruits, if I want to step in and benefit from this AI. That might be my first point of call. That might well be my first point of call. The second place I need to go to is to ask, so when most people have this basic knowledge, will I still have a job? Will I have a business? When everybody knows how to prompt ChatGPT, when prompt engineering has taken off completely, and everybody knows how to do it, and we have ways in prompting the AIs to prompt themselves. Is there any position still available in the market for me? Nope, there isn't. Okay. If people will no longer need these basics when they've already acquired that necessary skill, what would most people do after they've learned how to do these basics? Most people will need marketing and skills. Okay, that will be where I position myself next. Most people will need software. Most people will need hardware. Most people will need. So then it becomes my thing to look at the systems that people will need after they've got the basic functionalities under control, and that will be where I move into the build of systems that people would need. And I hope I really do hope that those of you who listen to this morning broadcast in particular, when you listen to the broadcast and you hear what I am telling self, you figure out that what I'm telling self it should be similar to what you should be telling self. That you go and you find what yourself needs to be told and you tell self, and galvanize self to move. As for me, I am very clear of the need of some of these things as my pension plan. This is my pension augmentation plan. This is my insurance policy. This is my survival strategy. Because the traditional systems, they have already shown that they are not going to really serve me. They are not going to help the way I needed them to help. And so the only thing available for me to do is to move and find these business systems, especially the ones that could be self-sustaining. It can be done on rinse, repeat. So that I can have money streaming in a continuous fashion over the next foreseeable future to help me manage the spiral that will happen as I age, and also give me options, really. As I said, yesterday I went to see my surgeon. Surgeon and I are talking. Surgeon does not now have one hospital that he works with. He's almost an independent consultant, and then he takes facilities and he pays for facilities in different places. So I was meeting him in a clinic, but the clinic I met him in does not have the facilities for the procedure I need. And so he tells me that he will have the procedure at a particular place. And I said to him that I am jealous of the flexibility he has. And he says to me, well, to be honest, I'm a consultant physician. My wife is a consultant physician. We have been practicing, well, he's a specialist surgeon. His wife is in a similar field to him at a similar rank. All their children are already grown, and they have fled the nest. His wife works in Dubai and he works in Abu Dhabi. So he leaves Abu Dhabi on Thursday and he comes back on Sunday to go see his wife so they can chill. And during the week, they all do whatever. I'm like, when I grow up, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. And he says, well, what do you mean by you want to be like me? I'm like, I want to be like you, with the flexibility of doing jobs that you want, of remaining in places that align with you and your beliefs, and to have the capacity to step away from places that don't align with you and your values. And that's something that's becoming very important to me as time goes on. I know it will become even more important when the children finish school. The motivation to remain in some of these spaces that don't quite align the way I want them to align is going to dwindle. And if that motivation dwindles, being forced to be in those spaces is going to be pure punishment. That is what it will be, punishment. And if I don't want that punishment, then the only way forward is for me to establish these businesses so that I can create for myself what this doctor has done for himself, the freedom to operate in places that serve him and align with his values. He is all about patient care. Hospitals are more interested in making money. And so you get targets. You have to take on certain procedures and do a certain number in a month. When hospitals become businesses that way and they have these targets, then whether a patient needs that service or not, if you need to meet your target, you will prescribe it to a patient, not because they need it. And the minute those pressures begin to exert themselves, he removes himself from an establishment. Because I've met him. This is the second establishment that I know he's in. And since he left the other one was a full-time job. He left that full-time gig to go freelance. And he was telling me yesterday the reason why he chose to go freelance is so that if a person doesn't need a procedure, he doesn't need to prescribe it. If a person needs a procedure, then he does it. And he's able to act a little bit more with integrity. Well, that is becoming increasingly important to me too. And so when things like that begin to present themselves, you need to know that you are going to struggle to remain in the workforce the way you have been. I'm already struggling to remain in the workforce anyway. And I can imagine when the few things that convince me to soldier on are removed from the equation, it will be more of a pain. And so, before the things are removed, a strategic thing is to start building where you will step up to. You should be building where you will step into. And that's why I am busy encouraging as many people as can to start looking into these businesses, especially the ones that you can build with these AIs, to benefit from this obvious gap in the market, to position yourself with strategy in the hope that your strategy succeeds and you are able to level up as a result. That is my simple desire for myself, and I hope it is your desire too. And if it is, welcome, join me and the people in my community. Let's work. Join me and those in my community, and let us work. Please come into these spaces knowing that we are here to work. Come knowing that work is not going to be easy. It will require an extension. But come understanding that the efforts they would take is significantly less than what it would take for you to survive. And early efforts, rewards are definitely worse than the pain, much better than the pain you will endure for lack of action. Act now and endure the discomfort and enjoy the rewards. For me, that's a much better prospect than to delay and to endure the punishment of inaction. I have arrived at work, so I'm going to go get started. I'll speak to you guys when I'm done. Bye.